Most self-improvement advice isn't wrong, it's just aimed at the wrong target. Know what you want, say no more often. Speak up for yourself, own your decision, all true, all useful. But ask why you're supposed to do any of it, and the answer underneath usually comes back to the same thing. So people see you a certain way, so you rank higher, so you become more valuable. A man chasing value is always one bad moment away from feeling worthless. A man building character doesn't have that problem. So let's take the real advice and rebuild it on the right foundation. Knowing what you want sounds simple. Most men think they already do this, but knowing you want a good meal, a better seat, a faster response, that's just having preferences. That's not self-development. The real skill is knowing what you want out of your actual life, broadly, specifically, on your own terms. Most men can tell you what they want for dinner. Very few can tell you what they want their life to look like in 5 years, and why. That's the version worth building. Not knowing what you want in a single moment, knowing what you want so you stop drifting through your own life on autopilot, reacting to whatever shows up. Saying no is genuinely one of the most underused tools a man has. That part's true, but here's the correction. You don't say no to preserve your image. You say no to protect your time, your peace, and your priorities. Those sound similar. They're not. A man who says no to protect his image is still performing. He's just performing scarcity instead of availability. A man who says no to protect his actual life doesn't care if anyone's watching. He says no in private the same way he says it in public, because the no was never about being perceived a certain way. It was about respecting his own time enough to spend it on purpose. Practice no until it's not a power move, until it's just self-respect with no audience required. Speaking up for yourself is real. Letting people walk over you repeatedly does build resentment, and it does erode how you see yourself. But notice the reason usually given. Speak up, or people will place you in the low-quality category and lose attraction for you. That's not a reason to speak up. That's fear dressed as advice. You don't speak up to manage your ranking in someone else's head. You speak up because silence, held long enough, starts to feel like betrayal of yourself. That's the actual cost, not your social standing, your self-respect. Owning your decisions instead of constantly explaining yourself, this one's close to right and worth expanding. Here's the distinction that matters. A man who owns his decisions to look strong is still fragile underneath, because the moment a decision goes publicly wrong, the whole performance collapses with it. A man who owns his decisions because he's actually examined them, because he knows why he chose what he chose, doesn't need anyone's approval to feel solid about it. That's the real skill, not never apologize, never explain. Sometimes you were wrong, and owning that is part of owning your decisions too. The point isn't to never be wrong. The point is to stop needing an audience to validate whether you were right. You made the call, you'll live with the outcome either way. That's what it means to actually own something, not the performance of confidence, the willingness to carry the result. Here's what separates a man chasing value from a man building character. Value is relative. It only exists in comparison to someone else, in someone else's eyes, in a market that's constantly shifting. Character doesn't need a market. It holds whether anyone's watching or not. A man chasing value asks, how do I rank? How do I come across? What do people think when they see me? A man building character asks, am I being honest? Am I keeping my word, even to myself? Would I be proud of this decision in 10 years, regardless of who saw it? Those questions lead to wildly different lives. One builds a man who's only as solid as his last win. The other builds a man who's solid regardless of the scoreboard. So take the tips. Know what you want. Say no. Speak up. Own your decisions. Those instincts are correct. Just change the reason you're doing them. Not to be perceived as 10 times the man. To actually become a man whose decisions, words, and boundaries are worth respecting, starting with how you respect them yourself. That's not a value multiplier. That's just becoming someone real. I'll show you what owning a decision actually looked like for me. I was fairly new to my role, utility electrician, and got put in charge of leading a section of a conduit install. The guy working it with me had more experience in the trade than I did. I'd come from a completely different field. I'd never run a layout like this on my own in my life. And the entire time, he kept saying the same thing. He's just the helper. This one's all me. Now, he had the background to actually lead that install. I didn't. But instead of working it like a team, he sat back and let me carry weight I hadn't earned the experience to carry alone yet. At first, it got under my skin. I'm not going to pretend it didn't. But I stopped trying to prove I already knew what I was doing, because I didn't, not fully, and started doing the actual work of figuring it out. I slowed down. I measured every drop and offset myself. I relayed the numbers to him instead of guessing or rushing to look capable. And when I wasn't sure, I went to the senior guys on the crew and checked my plan before I committed to it. Not because I needed permission, because I needed to be right. And being right mattered more than looking right. That's owning a decision, not pretending you already have the answer. Doing the work to actually get there in front of people who aren't going to make it easy for you. Nobody handed me confidence on that job. I built it. One measurement, one question, one correct offset at a time. I'll keep sharing what this actually looks like. The decisions, the boundaries, the parts I got wrong before I got them right. Not to perform it, just to show it's actually livable. If that's the kind of conversation you want, stay with the channel. There's more coming. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.